What could the red line be? This massive wall that divides the planet. What devil fruits existed on Elbaf? And how did Rox intend to destroy Imsama's world and become king? Let's explore this. In the latest chapter, we learned that two of the greatest devil fruits were located on Elbaf, one of which, Rox said, was meant to be eaten by Harald because only he could unlock its full potential. It's reasonable to assume it refers to the mythical Zoan fruit that would transform Harald into an enormous serpent like Jormungandr, depicted on the World Trees frescoes. Given Harald's giant lineage and his status as larger than any current giants, such a beast would be larger than what a normal person could become. But that's merely speculation. So which fruits was Rox referring to? It's plausible that one of them was Luffy's fruit, the sun god Nika fruit, due to numerous hints implying this, making it practically confirmed information. Elbaf's people worshipped Nika and took pride in their connection to him. Plus, we saw the enormous hat stored in Imsama's chamber, which might hint that the former user of this fruit could have been an ancient giant. Why do I think this? When Loki heard of Rox's ambitions, he wanted to join his crew, and Loki believes himself to be the one who ate the sun god fruit. When Harald's son sought to join the crew, Rox wounded him. Why? Was it simply because he wasn't ready? Possibly, but other events might explain it. Loki, hearing that Rox asked Harald to eat the devil fruit and then join his crew, may have taken matters into his own hands, hoping that consuming it would guarantee acceptance. That would explain why Rox became angry and wounded Loki. This supports the idea it was the Nika fruit, not Jormungandr, but there was another fruit involved, which we'll discuss soon. If I'm correct, when Loki ate that fruit believing it was Nika's, someone might have swapped it beforehand, which raises questions. Could Rox have eaten the fruit himself? And exactly what fruit did Loki consume after all? First, the fruit Rox wanted Harald to have. He said only a giant could unlock its potential. The Nika fruit is the liberator, the dancing god who fights for justice. The owner's heart must beat for liberation. Harald aimed to unite giants and humans, establish peace, and achieve justice. And again, that huge hat ties back to that power. Joy Boy, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't one. Although that's not a confirmed fact. After all, Luffy's fruit allows him to change his size, even enlarging his hat and clothes. But the point is, only someone longing for liberation could fully unlock it, and that's not Rox. He seeks destruction and kingship, not liberation. He likely studied forbidden history and concluded the sun god fruit would never serve someone like him. We know Rox studied forbidden lore. He knows about Davy Jones and Imsama. In fact, because of this, Rox most likely had to become a pirate. Hence my assumption that the Nika fruit was meant for Harald, but Loki intervened. But there were indeed two devil fruits involved. So what was the second one? I think many are inclined to believe that it could be the Yami Yami fruit now held by Teach. When Blackbeard saw that fruit, he desired it, meaning it held significant meaning for him. Later, in his fight against Ace, he explicitly said he needed that particular fruit. Now we understand why. He's Rox's son. That revelation opens up many potential plot twists, like that Rox's plan was inherited by Teach. When Loki ate what was thought to be the sun god fruit, Rox didn't kill him so the fruit could reincarnate. He just wounded him. And now, the person closest to Loki might be Teach. We know Rox needed a giant of ancient lineage. That's why Loki would be a perfect candidate to take his father's place, but this time as part of Blackbeard's crew. Thus, the second fruit could have been Yami Yami, but there's also a power repeatedly described as capable of world destruction, the Gura Gura fruit of Whitebeard. Remember how powerful that quake was, even before awakening. If fully awakened, it might have the potential to destroy the Red Line. Teach sought that fruit as fiercely as the Darkness fruit. Thus, we have three devil fruits that Rox desired. The first is the Nika fruit, the second is the Yami Yami fruit, though that one's complicated, since we still don't know if it was actually on Elbaf or if Rox already possessed it. And the third is Whitebeard's fruit, known as the World Destroyer. It turns out Rox's son is collecting these fruits. It is unknown how, but Teach has already gathered two of the three. Which one is next is unknown. Since the Nika fruit requires a liberator-worthy heart, Teach doesn't fit that concept. But the problem is that Blackbeard doesn't really fit the concept of these fruits at all, since he already possesses two of them. Rox had to choose whom to give the fruits to. Meanwhile, Teach's pirate crew flag bears 3 skulls, and he never sleeps, making his body unique. Knowing Rox's foresight, he may have found a woman from a special race, perhaps a 3-headed being, and each of them had their own mind, or a race with 3 hearts, as exists in One Piece. That could explain Teach's uniqueness. From this, we can theorize that Rox intended to destroy the world using these 3 devil fruits, and don't rule out the possibility that Rox is still alive and aiding his son. We're done speculating on the fruits. Now, about Loki. We don't know for certain when he ate the devil fruit. At least I did not not notice this information in the manga. My earlier words are just assumptions. The Nika fruit may have been swapped, or perhaps there were two similar fruits. But if that's the case, the second one must be the Yami Yami fruit. So, what exactly did Loki eat? We know the race of giants draws inspiration from Vikings, and in Viking mythology, there's not only the ancient serpent Jormungandr, who coils around the entire world, but also the wolves Skoll and Hati. One of those wolves chased the sun, hoping to devour it to bring about Ragnarok, chaos, the end of the existing order, and the beginning of battle, the clash of warriors. That perfectly fits Loki. In modern interpretations, Skoll is seen not just as a creature seeking to devour the sun, but as one striving to replace it, to become a god, the center of everything. That also suits Loki, since he believes himself to be Nika. On top of that, there are references like his tongue always sticking out, so there's a chance he ate a mythical zoan that turned him into Skoll. But personally, I find the idea of the serpent more interesting. Maybe Loki simply mistook the fruits and didn't eat the Nika fruit, but instead became Jormungandr. His eyes resemble a snake's, plus, the red line itself could be the petrified body of that world-coiling serpent. After all, how else would a mountain-like wall have encircled the planet? It's possible that this wall is the actual body of that very serpent we saw on the fresco. And since Imsama has the power to bend others to his will, maybe he used the snake to divide the world and create the Holy Land, Mary Jua. If we follow this logic, we have two possible outcomes. Loki might join Teach due to manipulations by Rox, since it was part of Rock's original plan to obtain an ancient giant, or Loki might join Luffy, because Luffy would accept him as he is. We know that Luffy has a kind of Naruto therapy, where even former villains become allies and end up helping the main hero. And as we've seen, Loki isn't truly a villain. He's just a kid, abandoned and hated. Still, if a giant like him wanted to join a pirate crew, how would he travel with them given his size? Thanks to Luffy's fruit, we know it's possible to change one's size, so Loki might undergo a similar transformation, perhaps using his fruit to take the form of a pet, and finally receive a bounty of 50 berries. And finally, Chopper won't be the only one sailing with the lowest bounty in the crew. In any case, Rox intended to give a devil fruit to Harold, but we still don't know exactly which one. I'm sure we'll find out soon what actually happened during that moment, and whether my theories were correct. I hope you'll support this channel by subscribing and leaving a like, and don't forget to write your thoughts in the comments. We're waiting for the next chapters to drop. Good luck to everyone, and see you next time.